All right, Kyle, so I am a beginner bowler looking to get into the game, and I'm gonna throw a shot real quick of how we would think of a typical beginner bowler is gonna throw the shot. Obviously, we wanna hit the front one in the head pin, but we don't really know a whole lot what to do yet, so the straight shot comes into play.
Oh, 1,000. Okay, so that is a way that we see a lot of people that are first getting into bowling, you haven't really developed a style yet, come in and throw. Straight ball, try to hit the one in front, which actually isn't a bad strategy.
No, it's really not. I mean, if you think about it, if you gotta hit the one in the front, what's your best chance?
Yeah.
You just target it.
If we joke, yeah, just throw it straight at him. I mean, we joke around a lot when we like miss the one in front's called the head pin. So when we miss the head pin, we go, well, you can't strike without hitting the one in front. So it's not a bad strategy, but the problem is you're limited on your score potential,
Sure.
really. If you're ever coming in just bowling every now and then yeah, it's not bad. But if you want to try to shoot those scores in the 200s, 220s, 230s, and even higher, we have to start throwing the ball and changing our strategy that's more optimal. And the way to do that is to create angle into the pocket, which is the 1-3 head pin. So you have your head pin, which is right in front, and then just to the right of it, you have what we call the 3 pin. These 2 pins make up what we call the pocket. Now, the whole idea for this is to create angle, getting the ball to go into that pocket, which then gives you the most consistent way of all the pins bouncing into each other to throw strikes all the time.
Yeah, and you know, there's been lots of studies out there that say like the perfect entry angle is 45 degrees, and listen, if it strikes, I don't really care a specific degree.
Right.
We can open up our ability to get the pins to kind of help us out. You know, we can get a few off hits, we can carry a, you know, we can hook a little bit too much and still strike, and being able to create some angle really opens up the game big time for a beginner bowler.
Absolutely. So Brad, we just talked about there's the pocket. We want to try to get our ball what we call hooking into the pocket. What are some basic things that people can start thinking about and taking into play when they're trying to hook the ball?
So if I'm a beginner bowler, I take a house ball, or maybe we did the right thing, we got in the pro shot, we have our own ball. You know, generally, hand's gonna be on top of it. You're not gonna be able to generate a whole lot of spin on the ball with your hand being on top of it. The ball starts to hook a lot the more spin is on the ball. So, you know, very basic, not getting anything too technical. I just want my hand a little bit more under it. So there's a new wave of bowling out there called the two-handed technique. It takes your thumb out of it, and that kind of gets your hand under the ball pretty nicely. And we know that the two-handed style does create a lot of spin on the ball. So even if we are using our thumb, we still want to use that idea of we can kind of get the ball spinning if we just have our hand our wrist a little bit more cupped. Okay. Secondly, we don't want a whole lot of ball speed. You know, those are 2 pretty basic, you know, get your hand a little bit more under it, and then you don't have to overthrow it. The second we overthrow it, it becomes really hard to create angle because the speed's going against you.
Right.
More speed makes it want to go straight. And a lot of times as a beginner bowler, if we're just trying to hit the head pin, we're gonna throw it pretty hard. You know, kind of like pool. If you're gonna break and pull, you want to hit the pull cue hard.
Yeah.
Cue ball hard. Same with a beginner style of bowling, we're gonna try and throw it pretty hard. But when we want angle, we can soften that up a little bit. We don't have to focus so much on
give the ball time,
throwing it.
Okay.
So a little bit of roll, a little bit of less speed.
So you're getting set up here, and so if someone was going from straight ball to trying to hook it right now, exactly what you would tell them?
Yeah, so see how my hand's really on top of it? I'm just gonna, you know, have this hand help it out a little bit and just get that hand under it. There's some weird stuff that happens in the swing, but just try. And then pretty slow delivery.
Yeah, and you can see plenty of hook there.
Yeah, and you know, the whole idea is this is kind of simple. You know, you don't have to do a whole lot to get the ball to hook.
Yeah.
It's really kind of a speed thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And you notice that I didn't throw that very fast, and you can always throw it slower to get more hook. You know, but a beginner bowler is not going to be able to just sit there and rev it. So
correct.
It's nice to start with a little bit of ball speed help, just to help.
Yeah, you just
ball.
don't have to throw it that hard. And
No.
if you're someone that goes from throwing it really straight to trying to hook it, like it's very good. It's very likely that you're not going to give the ball the chance to hook because you're just throwing it way too hard.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of, you know, we don't have to necessarily be in a bowling alley to kind of work on this. Like, if you're wondering, like, oh man, if you know, I can get a little bit more roll on the ball, go into your basement or a couch or something and just, you know, see what it feels like to kind of have a more of a cupped wrist, and you'll notice that you can kind of just flick the ball a little bit. There's actually like a roll happening instead of just a dead arm toss down the lane.
Yeah, I think for me, there's two things that come to mind if you're trying to hook the ball and you're a very beginner, is to understand that the very outside portion of the lane has the least amount of oil. And what that means is we call those dry boards, and your ball is actually gonna wanna change direction off those. So when you're throwing shots and you see that your ball just kind of skidding, that's skidding on oil. As you get to the outside part of the lane, those boards are drier and we can get our ball to hook off there. So like this, I'm just gonna throw what would be a normal shot for me on the more outside portion of the lane, and this ball should pick up and hook a good amount. Okay, so you can see it gets to that outside portion and really likes to hook. So use those boards to your advantage. Those boards, if you try to get spin and hit those outside boards, the ball will then hook, create an angle, and then you just have to, adjust a little bit to get that going in the pocket.
Yeah, and that shot you just threw was kind of half speed, and we've been bowling our whole lives. So it's kind of easy to kind of understand the roll and the speed aspect once we get the ball to hook. But kind of the main thing is we don't want to really be 100% when we're working on this. We're really just trying to, win the fact that we can get the ball to make a little bit of angle. We got to get that down first before we can expect the pins to fall. And you do that by just, slowly going through it. Don't try and do it in this full, swing and approach. Slow it down, relax it down. All these things will help you kind of get the ball into a roll. Once the ball starts rolling, it's kind of nice. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, and then the second tip I would give as far as so now we know where the dry boards are, where we can get the ball to hook. In order to get the ball to hook, in order to create spin on it, creating spin on a bowling ball is very similar to creating spin on, spiral on a football, either, volleyball. They're lighter, so they're easier. Bowling ball, heavier, so it's just a little harder to do. But it's the same idea. We got to get our hand rotating in some fashion, whether all of our fingers are in it or they're not. And what I would suggest to you guys, if you want to see a very easy way to create spin on it, is to not put your thumb in the ball, just put your two fingers in and bowl two-handed like this, to where, this is like pretty much the style that's taken over now, but it's a lot easier to create spin early. Getting your thumb in the ball is more difficult at the start to try to create spin. But here, it's the same idea. When I have two hands on it, I'm just rotating my hand in some kind of fashion to create spin that's gonna hook. So it's gonna look something like this. And again, you don't have to have a full approach. All you have to worry about is kind of walking up there and just spinning it like you would spiral a football or a volleyball or anything. So here we go. Okay, you can see how easy it is to get that spin, and it also hit those dry boards and it hooked. Now I just kind of have to line up my feet, change a couple things to get that ball to hook into the pocket.
Yeah, and we're still not necessarily trying to throw a 3 or 4 bagger right now. That exercise is really great for look how much your ball hooked.
If someone that normally throws it straight and they did that, it would be eye-opening.
It's mind-blowing. It's like, oh my gosh, like the game is a completely different game when the ball actually turns down the lane instead of you feeling like, uh-oh. Or it's hard to strike. You're either throwing it dead straight or you have a little bit of hook. Man, when a ball actually gives you a lot of hook, you can kind of loosen up a little bit and just throw it.
They're gonna enjoy the game a lot more.
Yeah, so you want to try and throw a few in a row? See if we can get some mixers going with a little bit of angle?
Okay, yeah, let's throw it.
All right, now the reason we love angle is we get some off hits. We get, we can go a little light in the pocket, we can go a little high in the pocket, and the patterns are obviously designed, the house shots are obviously designed with the hook to the right. So we're just gonna do a little simple low rev hook shot. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
So we created the angle, we just didn't get the hook in there. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the one-handed. And again, I'm just my whole idea here is I'm gonna rotate my hand and I'm gonna throw it towards those outside boards. And hopefully it just hooks back.
Ooh, look at that.
Just like that. That easy.
Yeah, now if you take that exact same shot and he misses a little right, pattern's kind of designed with that hook to the right, a little bit more oil in the middle, and we play the pattern. Now I need to make this ball hook a little bit more. We'll throw it a little bit slower.
Okay. Look at that.
Now we got some hook.
Hey, that's a double. AKA 2 in a row. Oh, that's got a hook. And it does. So you can see there that the ball's hooking and going right into that pocket. All the pins are deflecting, and if you've watched any type of like skillful bowling, you'll see that that's how guys throw strikes every time. We're trying to hit that pocket every time. We're not trying to, you know, hit the head pin square on the face or the left of it. We're trying to hit there every time.
Yeah, and if you do actually end up getting really close to that kind of angle, it's gonna strike. Yeah, every time.
Way more
if
consistently.
It's a straight shot.
That's how you see guys throw, you know, not just 2 in a row, but 3 in a row, 4 in a row, 7 in a row, 8 in a row, 36 in a row.
36 in a row.
I don't know anything about that. Ooh, got on that one a little bit.
All right, there we go.
Right, that's a few in a row. Now let's see, okay, we got a pretty good idea. I've thrown a few strikes in a row, so I have a good idea what the pocket is. I'm gonna try to throw a straight ball.
All right.
And just see if I can even strike. So this is no intent. All I'm trying to do is hit the one in front, basically. I'll try to hit the pocket to see if I can even do it. I'll hit the other pocket. Okay, so that's a perfect example of when you're throwing it straight and you hit it, the ball just deflects and the pins don't do the right thing. And you can see, like, I hit the one in front, I actually hit the other pocket on the other side, the 1-2, but it's not gonna strike. You're gonna do that a lot. It's good for 9, but not for 10.
Yeah, and if you were to keep that same straight style, what adjustment would you be able to make sure you get the 5 out? It's
Yeah.
It's hard.
You just hope.
You just kind of pray.
Yeah.
See if I can throw a straight shot.
All right, try to hit the 1-3 pocket on this
All right, I'm
one.
gonna hit the 1-3 pocket.
That's pretty good. I might strike.
Oh! That was kind of cool.
If that doesn't strike, then you shouldn't throw it straight.
I mean, there's just nothing you can do there.
Yeah, that's such a good shot. But you can see how that type of bowling is great for 9. So if you're someone out there that is, you know, throwing it straight, or just in general, you want to throw more strikes, learning how to create angle into that 1-3 pocket is going to do it for you.
Yeah, and you do that by just bringing everything down, slowing it down, little practice drills, throw it into your couch, you know, kind of simplify it before we start to really try and throw these, you know, infamous 6-baggers, but they will come. So we appreciate you guys watching this video. If you guys are interested in a free gift, click that link in the description. It's absolutely free. It's a video from our Master of the Lane series. You're gonna absolutely love it. So we appreciate you. Hit that like and subscribe. Thanks for watching as always. That's it.